The Great Journey, waking up to excellence in a world of challenges. We live in an age where mediocrity tries to sneak into our choices, attitudes, and even our dreams. It is vital that we pull ourselves away, and pull away those who walk with us, from this silent attraction to the comfort zone that paralyzes greatness. No matter what generation we belong to, the fight against apathy and sameness is eternal, and must be fought every single day. Observing the emerging generations, I see a curious phenomenon. Young people at 18, 20 years old rediscovering the roots of the past, valuing traditions that seemed forgotten. They adopt old habits with pride, whether in fashion, style, or even in their way of thinking. It's a search for identity in a fast-paced, superficial world. This rediscovery isn't just mere nostalgia. It's a sign that true value lies in purpose, in what connects us to time and history. On the other hand, there's also this desire to be modern in their own way, not through the rush to be different, but by giving new meaning to the old, like craft beer made with care and time, rejecting the convenience of the industrialized, instant product. This conscious resistance to ease is a clear sign that some people refuse to be guided by mediocrity. They challenge the now with the best of the yesterday. The contemporary world, filled with digital technologies and electronic glitters, sees the rise of spaces that embrace the simple and manual. A restaurant that writes its menu on a chalkboard with chalk is, paradoxically, the height of modernity for young people seeking authenticity. We need to be careful not to judge too quickly. Not everything that seems old-fashioned is outdated. Often it is exactly the opposite. This tension between past and present, tradition and innovation, reveals the complexity of a generation that needs to build its path of purpose. And here lies the great challenge: rejecting mediocrity in all areas, politics, religion, profession, business, and accepting only the best as the horizon. Our role as adults and leaders is not only to preserve that standard of excellence, but also to feed that flame in the new generation so they don't get lost in easy shortcuts and limited horizons. Wisdom is not an exclusive privilege of those who are older, just as creativity doesn't belong only to the young. True learning is born from the dialogue between generations, a mutual exchange where the more experienced contribute their accumulated knowledge and the young bring energy and innovation. This connection is essential for us to build something solid and lasting. Many young people today feel a deep need to seek their origins, even traveling to their ancestors' countries to understand who they are and where they come from. This journey is not just geographical, but also ontological, a dive within oneself to find identity amidst the chaos and speed of modern life. As superficial relationships, this search strengthens, gives meaning and purpose, because we live in a world that moves too fast, where everything seems disposable, and the human being can easily get lost. Knowing your own history is a bulwark against this loss. But paradoxically, older generations also need to learn to listen to new voices, to accept change, and to recognize that each time has its own battles and ways of facing the challenge of mediocrity. It is a dialogue of respect and humility, where no one is the absolute judge of the other, but everyone is a participant in the same journey toward a full, meaningful, and dignified life. We live in a time where every gesture, choice, and even appearance is subjected to immediate public scrutiny. Social media, virtual spaces that connect and expose, have become 24-hour tribunals, where quick and often superficial judgments determine reputations, attitudes, and even feelings. This constant exposure can cause distress, especially for those who don't know how to deal with it. The criticisms, often unfounded, come in the form of comments about simple things, like the choice to keep a beard, turning the act of being who you are into a daily challenge. It's important to remember that being a public person doesn't mean being a public servant. Those who hold official positions must be accountable to society, but those who are public figures have the right to exist with their peculiarities without submitting to arbitrary judgments. In family relationships, this feeling of evaluation is no different. WhatsApp groups, constant messages, and interactions function as family tribunals where demands and judgments don't stop. creating an environment that is often heavy and exhausting. It is essential to develop the capacity to separate what is relevant from what is merely opinion, and to understand that we do not need unconditional approval from anyone to be true to ourselves. This emotional and psychological maturity is an achievement that allows us to live with freedom, purpose, and tranquility, even in the face of virtual storms. In a world where everything seems urgent, the greatest wisdom is learning to distinguish the urgent from the important. Many of us spend our energy chasing tasks that cry out for immediate attention, but are, deep down, secondary to what truly defines our journey. The important is what gives meaning to life, what builds a legacy, what cultivates deep relationships, what feeds purpose and genuine happiness. The urgent can and should be dealt with, but it should never dominate the scene, leaving the important aside. I remember my grandfather's words, who every day would ask me, "What are your plans for the future?" A question that initially bothered me, but which today I understand as an invitation to live life with direction, with goals, and above all, with meaning. He also used to say that it's not enough to enjoy the moment. You need to think beyond it, build a solid future, be the richest in the cemetery, not in material goods, but in achievements, affection, and legacy. This reflection calls us to act with more awareness, to dedicate time to what truly matters, to not allow haste and immediacy to pull us away from the essential. Human history is marked by crises, wars, pandemics, and challenges that seemed impossible to overcome. My mother, who lived almost a century, witnessed the Great Depression, World War II, the Cold War, and the recent pandemic that shook the world. She used to tell me that we haven't seen anything yet, a way of reminding us that life is made of ups and downs, and that resilience, perseverance, and courage are our greatest weapons to keep going. In the 2020 pandemic, we were tested like never before, but we also saw the rise of a legion of people willing to do their best, to fight against discouragement, to seek solutions, and to care for others. This attitude gives us hope. It shows that despite the difficulties, the human being is capable of creating, resisting, and evolving. That in the face of fear, uncertainty, and chaos, it is possible to rise up and build new paths. This lesson in resilience is vital for our daily journey, because we know that even when everything seems to be falling apart, inner strength and true purpose keep us firm. Now, more than ever, it's time to answer, what can I do? This question cannot be left behind with doubts or discouragement. It must be a cry of courage and dedication, a call to act with determination and an open heart. It doesn't matter the size of your challenge. It is important because it is yours. Every action we take, no matter how small, contributes to building a better world and strengthening our own life. Many men and women, health professionals, researchers, community leaders, fought to create quick and efficient answers, like the COVID-19 vaccine, surpassing expectations and deadlines that seemed impossible. This is living proof that when we unite with purpose and dedication, we are capable of transcending limits and changing realities. You can also make a difference, whether in your family, your job, your community. The invitation has been made. Stand up, refuse mediocrity, embrace your purpose, and make your today a day of transformation. Life is a journey made of choices, some easy, others painful. But with every step, we have the opportunity to decide between mediocrity and excellence, between passivity and action, between the immediate and the eternal. We are not alone on this journey. Generations pass and intertwine so that together we can build a world that is stronger, truer, and full of purpose. Always remember, you were not born to be common. You were born to shine, to be the best version of yourself, to leave a mark that inspires and transforms. If this text touched your heart, share it with those you love, with those you want to see growing and fighting for life with courage and determination. And to continue receiving messages that uplift your mind and spirit, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and be part of this community that refuses mediocrity and embraces greatness. The world needs your shine. Don't stop showing who you really are.